What's up, guys? Another spring maintenance guide for y'all. I'm draining my water heater. Needs to be done yearly. Prevent sediment buildup. Keep it working longer, more efficient. I'm on a pretty decent slope, as you see. And I know it's difficult if you're not on a slope, but ideally you need to have it, have gravity work with you. It needs to be on a slope. And as long as you're on a good slope and you get all the air pockets and everything out. I had a little sediment blocking my valve. Took a minute to get it to drain, but you can just turn on the cold water supply if it ain't wanting to drain for a minute, and it'll flush around that sediment and hopefully loosen the sediment that's preventing it from draining. Okay, guys, so remember how I said, here's your spigot right here. That's where you screw your water hose in. But you remember how I was saying I couldn't get it to drain before, so I turned cold water back on to loosen that sediment up? Well, once it's about done draining all the way, before you unhook the water hose and tighten the spigot back up, turn the water back on. Let it run for just a minute. Like that, flush out that remaining sediment out of the bottom. Once that's done, close the valve, take the hose off, and it's drained. You're done. Alright guys, so we got our water hose out, got that screwed back in. After you turn your water back on, get everything unhooked, you want to go open your hot water spigots or faucets all throughout the house. You're going to have a lot of air in there. Just let them run for a little bit and get all that air out. And you may want to do that with your cold too. There'll be some air in there. Once you get all the air out, while you got this door off, go ahead and check all your lines, all your connections. While you got it open, make sure there's no leaks. Make sure you check here, look for leaks. And you'll see I have an expansion tank here. I have a pressure regulator on my incoming line there to the house. If you have a pressure regulator, you have to have an expansion tank, because I walked outside one day and I noticed my relief valve was dripping some outside. Did a little research, found out, well, I knew I had too much pressure, but I didn't know why. Found out I needed an expansion tank, which totally fixed the problem. So if you have a pressure regulator, you got to have an expansion tank. And it's a great time to check that pressure on that too. You just unscrew this right here. And you can see it's just like for a tire. This little air nozzle. If water ever comes out of that when you're checking the air, it's bad. I mean, if the diaphragm's ruptured, you got to get a new tank. So water should never come out of that. But just regular old air gauge, check it, and it needs to match your incoming water PSI. So you just go, here, I'll show you. I have a valve, or a pressure valve, and they're super cheap. They're probably less than $10. It's out here. But just get you you put this on your water spigot outside, and you read the pressure, and whatever pressure it reads, your expansion tank needs to match it. So my pressure read 46 psi, and my expansion tank was at 39 psi, so I had to blow my expansion tank up 7 psi to match. If it don't match, it ain't going to work properly. So not only do you drain your water heater, it's a great time to check your expansion tank, make sure it's still good. And don't lose that washer in there, by the way, because it'll make a mess when you're trying to check the pressure. So yeah, drain the water heater, check the expansion tank, make sure you ain't got no leaks. And the last thing you need to do is test your pressure relief valve. A lot of people will say not to test the pressure relief valve because they say it leaks afterwards, it won't seat back. That could very well, I'm sure it does happen to a lot of people. It's never happened to me. But the way I look at it is, because sometimes I have trouble getting it to seat back. all I do is I just keep opening and shutting it until it finally seats. It's not seating because there's sediment or something getting in its way. So you just, eventually that sediment's going to move and it's going to close back. I've never had a problem getting them to close back after a few minutes. And if it, say it doesn't close back, you know, I would much rather pay, or I don't know, maybe do myself, pay to get that replaced versus it not working. And if it ain't working, it can't relieve the pressure. And if the pressure builds up in your water heater's enough, it's going to blow through the roof. If it gets enough pressure, it will blow through the roof. So I would much rather take my chances and make sure that works versus being scared I'm going to have it replaced. So that's food for thought on that. But yeah, guys, I mean, that's it. Do this once a year. Your unit's going to be a lot more efficient. It's going to last longer. It's going to save you a headache. If there's something in here's leaking and you didn't know it, you can fix it. So I always do this once a year. And I'm going to leave my door off for a good part of the day just so I can come back and double check later and make sure nothing's leaking. But yeah, that's about it. And by the way, I have insulation on my water heater because when we got the house, it sat over here with no foundation and no power or anything, and it got like below 0 degrees, and I didn't know if there was possibly still water in the water heater where they, I'm sure, tested it at the factory. So I just didn't want it to freeze, so I just put this insulation around it. And well, I left it obviously because it ain't hurting nothing, and maybe it improves the efficiency in my unit, maybe it doesn't, I don't know, but it ain't hurting nothing, so I left it. But anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Till next time.